Holy Spirit, I need to talk out loud to myself. So, I may delete the journal entry I did earlier today. I have been through another whirlwind of emotions. And there's so many different perspectives and ways to go. And yet, I can go. I have gone. I go back to this morning, seeing the tree burnt from the fire. It has that open heart. And I could even see the science of mind symbol in it. And that hawk sitting there. The birds not fearing the hawk whatsoever. Still singing. Flying back and forth, doing their thing. And even with us sitting there and hearing the message, go check on the dog, the little doggo, there in the alley. Oh, that pulls on my heartstrings. Used to make me really angry. The humans. And I remember going through all the different things when I first woke up, so to speak, and finding that compassion for oneself. As the human race and everything being our mirror. I remember when I was younger and I was rescuing dogs, and I became houseless and needed to move back into the family home, mom and dad. And couldn't take the dog to the animal shelter because they were charging at the time. Didn't have it. And Dad said, don't come back with that dog. And I turned it loose. And was knowing somebody would pick it up. Oh, I beat myself up over that for the longest time. Had nothing else I could do though. Nowhere else to turn. So I've been that person that had no choice. And I have forgiven myself for that over and over and over and over and over again. And this time it's a little bit different because I'm on the other side. I want to rescue the dog. I wanted to bring her home. I keep going, wanting to go back and go get her. Such a good little dog. Staying right there, waiting. the best I can at this time. And yet, I feel this tug. Of course, I'm fasting, so I'm in day, I don't know what of the fasting process. And I keep being told, wait, more will be revealed. Wait. Okay, so there's that portion of it. Then there's the portion of she's got food, she's got water. There was another gentleman, because we went back with more food. She had eaten that so quickly. And of course, at that moment, I didn't know she was a she. That was when we returned from rushing to getting his run at the bike path and seeing the hawk. We stopped, picked up food and water, and went over there. And she was still there, gave her the food, gave her some water, came back to the apartment. No, actually went to the Humane Society thinking that their thrift store would be open on a Sunday, and they're not. And so came back to the apartment and called the Humane Society. They no longer take owners surrendered dogs. So I'm looking up the animal shelter. Well, apparently the animal shelter and the Humane Society is the same thing. And then there's this other rescue group, and they don't take anything like that either. And they had that on their machines, and leave a message, we'll get back to you within 24 hours. So I'm like, unless it's an emergency. Because they also look like they also do some wildlife from what I was seeing there. So I'm like, oh, okay, well, this seems to be the two options here. So I'm going, okay, what do I do? And I called the non-emergency 911 because I've seen animal control. Animal control was here with 5 unmarked government vehicles the other day. And I've seen them in other places. So I called the non-emergency number, and they're like, yeah, we do animal dispatch, etc. So where's this dog located? You know, and Rashini and I walk down that alley fairly frequently. That's like the favorite little spot to go down, or we go to the right. And usually he tries to take me over into the other alley, which I don't like to go down. So we had just walked that the other day, and the dog was not there. But anyway, so we go back with more food. After I had called, I waited a little while, and thinking that animal control was going to be coming soon, and off we go. The dog was still there. And this vehicle starts pulling down the alley. Now it's a nice big, newer looking truck. Big truck. Coming down. And so we move out of the way, and he slows down to stop, and he's like, take it home. Take it home. And I said, sir, I can't take it home. I have a service dog here, and I'm in subsidized housing. So he's like, well, I've been feeding her, and I said, well, I just brought her some food early this morning and she clumped it up. I said, I saw her here last night. And he's like, well, I've been feeding her, bringing her some food periodically, but you need to take her home. And I said, sir, I can't. I wish I could, but I can't. So he comes over with the can, and starts pouring it in the bowl. And he goes, this is a big can for such a little dog. She should be fine. And I'm like, it should be fine. And I said, well, is it a male or a female? And he's like, well, I haven't checked. So he grabs down and he goes, oh, from what I can tell, it's a female. And I went over, I'm like, from what you can tell. And so I went over and he's like, she's friendly. I says, yeah. I says, well, she's definitely a little female. And he gets back in the truck and there's an older woman in maybe his mother is in the truck. And she keeps trying to look over. And then I mentioned that I had called animal control, and he says, oh, they won't keep her long. And I says, really? I said, you're talking about the Humane Society, right? And he's like, yeah. I said, well, I left him my name and number. I says, I can foster her, and maybe, like a little trial basis. I says, but I can't take on the responsibility at this time without help. And it's like, well, they won't keep her long. And it gets back in the truck and, have a good day. And, so off we start to go, and we're following the truck out. And I noticed it was different tags. I don't remember seeing Arizona tags. And it went around the block and on back around. So kind of circling. So he obviously saw me pull in because he was like, I was hoping you would take her. And I said, sir, I can't take her. I can't do it with my situation. As much as I would want to. And I asked him about how long she had been here. And he says, oh, about a week. And I'm going, I said, really? I said, because this last night was the first time I had seen her here. And I came back to see if she was still here this morning. She's obviously waiting for somebody to come back and get her, And he mentioned something about a houseless people. And I says, no, I've seen the houseless people that come through here. And I said, they do hang out here periodically, but none of them have ever had a dog. Because I've never seen this dog before. So, we had left, and I'd come back, and I'm kind of contemplating over the conversation again. And I went to that space of, oh gosh, and judging myself, and like I should do more. You're the animal chaplain. You're been rescuing for years, and blah 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 blah, and just going through all of that, and it's like, oh my gosh, and then feeling the heartbreak, this little dog, feeling that heartbreak of being abandoned, of feeling probably betrayed, the whole thing. And then, yes, I heard other voices coming in, and all the judgment from the outside, and all this, and I'm going, oh. And so, getting to that space where I just want to scream, and the chaos in the mind, and all of that, and all of the And then breathing, 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 and coming back to the wait, wait, this is good. And then sitting here going, Mother Earth is doing her thing. And the real truth, is yes, it's all an illusion. Don't let nothing take your peace of mind and all of that kind of crap. But this, wow, okay, this is the tester, like the test, so to speak. This part of this, all this stirring up before Pluto goes forward. And who really knows what's getting ready to come around the corner? Who really knows what's getting ready to come around the corner? But that more will be revealed. And sitting with all of these feelings, sitting with all of these perspectives. For some of us, it may be a child. For some of us, it's the animals. For some of us, it is, whatever your roof is, and the core wound that is connected with it is that. And if you wait and sit and pray and come to that space of truth and the patience, the trust, and the faith, and allow, because and then there's that space of the heart and the mind. The rational side of it is, yes, I am in subsidized housing. It's a gift. And yes, pets are allowed here, but they also have a noise ordinance. And I heard that little kid. She's got a voice. And not that I couldn't work with it, but also finances, big piece. If I allow animal control, my rational mind starts taking over and working out like little plans. I call in the morning and say, I'm willing to try fostering, but I cannot do it until after my procedure, because there's the other piece. I'm going to be swept away and gone at the hospital for how many hours? And who knows what this little kid's going to do, right? This little kiddo. And Damon, or Rashini, is like the best little dog, right? He's going to lie here and sleep and wait, and he knows I'll be back, and so forth. And he's my service dog. And so then, all that little projection pieces like that. However, at the same time, there is also the truth of whatever is getting ready to happen, whatever the big shift is, it's being able to see those kinds of situations. And we may not always be able to do whatever we can do. And so we need to be able to process these emotions without losing ourselves, keeping focused on what we need to do. And there's food, there's water, there is help and assistance on its way, and you're basically okay, and you will be okay. And so I went through a lot of that in India, where you're hearing the dogs scream. You can see that they're bleeding. There's, and the cows, and they're making their transitions, and you stand with them and you pray and you turn them over to Creator, because you've done everything that you know you can do, that is within your power to do at that moment in time. So whether that's for a child, maybe your thing is trees, maybe your thing is, whatever's going on in the ocean, and like with the whales and the dolphins, or whether it's, what the wildlife, or the elderly, or the natives, or, Ukraine, or whatever. It's not that there's the compassion and the empathy is not there. It's what is my peace in this moment within my control, or that I'm being able or allowed to facilitate in this moment, and sending that love and light, and knowing without a doubt we're all part of the one essence, and there is no true victims. We are all volunteers playing our part. So, process the emotions. Take a look at all of the beliefs and the thought patterns and the different tunnels or whatever. Take those moments and do that, and allow that to process, to come through you. And then remember the truth. Breathe. And as long as you know you've done everything that you possibly can, and you are in alignment with your integrity, self-care, and so forth, turn the rest over. Turn the rest over. Turn the rest over. And breathe. Because I know without a doubt there's only one life, only one Creator, one divine, absolute loving essence. And we are each a part of that. All the animals, all the trees, all the water, all the humans, all the stars. That energy never ends. It's eternal. So we are all eternal. And we all play our part like a passing cloud. Each one of us adds our piece of the puzzle to make it all whole. Even though each puzzle piece is whole in itself, because it carries that same energy. So I know without a doubt, every animal, whether human or not, is right where they need to be, experiencing what they need to experience, and being mirrors for each and every one of us. we open our hearts and allow that energy to move through us. We have no choice, really, if you stop to think about it. But holding on to those emotions and those feelings and those beliefs is what creates our suffering. So we breathe and allow that to move on through, to feel it, to recognize it, to witness it, and then allow it to be. And whatever our next inhale is, we bring that in fully. We bring that in fully. This little dog is not necessarily suffering. She's waiting. She's happy. She's patient. She's kind. She's eating. She's got food. She's got water. She's got shade. And she's got someone on her way. On their way. She's being watched over by the same essence that each and every one of us is being watched over. And we all have an eternal home in our hearts. Feeling the love that each one of us sends out to the rest of us. That love is there, ready to be accepted when we say yes. So I say yes to the love, and however it manifests, whether she finds a good home, she makes her way across the rainbow bridge to the eternal world, or she comes and stays with us. Whatever is in the highest good for each and every one concerned is and will play out. In the meantime, we are all whole and perfect just as we are. And those who do make their transitions, whether it's by natural disaster, natural death, what some of us consider taken too soon, in not good ways, whatever it may be, we are all eternal. And that is the truth behind all truth. And all are loved by the essence that created and is us, all of us. And that's the love we feel when we go inside and feel love and feel peace and feel even angry or sad or betrayed or grieving, whatever the feeling may be. They're all Creator's feelings. They're all a part of that one energy. They're all a part of this life. And they are what we are here to express, to feel, to witness. So I have no doubt that all of the animals are being cared for perfectly. And whatever is meant to be already is. So I release and let go. Stay focused on the tasks at hand. And when I feel called, yeah, I'll go back and check. Or when I feel called, I will call tomorrow and check. Not that I don't check, not that I don't offer. But it's nothing that we have to make happen. We allow it to happen for the highest good of all. And all the feelings of being betrayed or not good enough or should have done this or being judged, that's all. Well, all I can say is it's bullshit. It's all bullshit. And so I leave the bullshit behind and know without a doubt that each and every one of us are doing our best. And walking tall, strong, steady, and stable, even when it feels like we're falling apart. God can never truly fall apart because God is all the pieces all at once and knows exactly what it's doing.